So if we enter a relationship with anything that's about me, then I don't believe that we're ready.
Single on a Saturday night. Yes, it is season 4. That means 4 years. We are here doing it, having a good time, and Single on a Saturday night. If you don't know what it is a talk show about love, relationships, all that good stuff. It's not all about sex, but relationships, talking to each other, growing. You know what? Tell me what it's about to you.
Sex, because that's the good part.
Okay. What does Single on a Saturday night mean to you, David?
Relationships, socializing, and hearing really what men and women got to say.
All right, Malisha, what you got to say?
I could say the same thing. Relationships, social, growing together, encouraging one another, and just getting to learn who we are and who we can be.
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead, Christopher Berrios.
Single on a Saturday night to me is love, growth, transition, and just amazing.
And it's his 2-year anniversary, if you haven't known. Today makes his 2-year anniversary. So welcome to your 2 years. 2-year anniversary. That's really big.
Thank you.
And someone who is so brand new to the show, we have Fiona Malloy, international singing superstar, right here, all the way from Scotland. We're doing it big now. So you've been watching the episodes. Tell us what Sing on a Saturday Night means to you.
I guess the same as everybody else, just hearing different people's opinion, and today just meeting everybody and meeting everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you. We actually have a great show planned for you because it's season 4. We're happy.
Yeah.
And of course, we're still single on a Saturday night. No need to keep going over that, right?
Right.
Yeah. But one day I won't be. One day you won't be, right?
Maybe
that's
not.
That's what we choose, right? So anyway, we're going to get into the topic du jour, which is It's Love, the introduction to self-love remix by Damon F. Humans. That's right, I got it right. Damon is in the house. We're talking about It's Love. Now, we all got the book ahead of time. And when I think about self-love, honestly, I think I don't really want to hear about, in my head, you know, not saying that there's an excellent book, but I don't want to hear about self-love because I believe I love myself, to me. But do all of you, or do you think about love, self-love all the time? Is that important to you? Do you want to read about it? Or you just know you love yourself?
I don't need to read about it because I need to understand myself. And reading about somebody else doesn't help me understand myself in the vast realm of things. I just believe that we are supposed to understand ourselves and love ourselves first and foremost. Always.
Always. What about you,
I
David?
think that I like reading materials that get me to reflect about myself. When I'm reading other people's material, I know that's their view, their opinion, but I start to self-examine myself and say, do I love myself enough? You know, or have I sacrificed some of the love within me for things that may not are necessarily good for me?
How about you, Fiona? And then we'll go to Malisha.
Self-love to me is taking time for myself to do the things I enjoy, to get my mind in the right place, to make sure I'm a priority and I'm not putting myself second to anybody else and hiding my feelings that maybe I'm letting them away with things that they shouldn't be allowed to get away with.
What about you, Malisha?
I don't think you necessarily need to read about it, but I think it does encourage you, and it can help you, like he said, to just get insight on things that you may be missing or not doing to love yourself even more, possibly.
Berrios.
Well, for someone to take the time, the effort to put it into print, it really allows them to have that lens that you can look at yourself with, to really see and understand or identify if there's anything that would identify you to what other people are experiencing. It really is beneficial.
So after hearing, Damon, after hearing everything, do you think we summed up what you were feeling when you put out a book about, do you think it's a book about self-love? Is that what you were going for? Tell us about your experience and what made you write the book.
Well, I definitely believe that all of you have great opinions. And just when I've started writing the book, it came from past experiences that not only myself went through, but studies that I sat on. I sat on studies in North Carolina. It was considered the Bible Belt, like North Carolina State, Winston-Salem, Duke University and Wake Forest, and I've got to see for 5 years the assessment and different outcomes of how relationships are not going so well and how they are going so well. So I've compiled all of that information together and then put my own personal experience involved into it, and just thought, given my insight would be a little bit more almost like a GPS for some people. For some people, if I could sit in a room and I can ask 20 people what is love, I would hear probably from 6 of them that they don't know what love is. So for me to be able to sit down and intel and describe that, it was me at the moment.
Well, I just had this question, because everybody always knows I'm the skeptic when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
So you just told me that you sat through these studies. What was your capacity in the study?
Well, first, when I first started, I went to North Carolina to actually work as a data assessment. And I was on the data side, computing the data. And then I went into the process of creating and sitting in with the doctors to do the studies. So I was now doing the assessments all the way. And then from there, I was not only seeing and overseeing what the income and outcome would be, what we consider a pre and a post, to see where you are before you do something, and then we see where you are after you do something. And then we accumulate it all and see if there's growth.
So where's the book that they wrote, the doctors? Well, where the book that the doctors wrote? Them the ones I'm interested in.
Oh, okay. Well, the book that they wrote is, I wouldn't be able to answer that or give you that opinion or understanding, because I took this initiative on myself to write it based off of the same theory and same information that they've computed.
And actually, you can learn, when I originally, when I saw it, It's Love, I'm looking at the title, it's kind of misleading. I'm like, all right, I don't care about self-love. Not saying I don't care, because I believe I love myself and I don't even need to go deeper into love. But what the book allowed me to do is to go more so to think about me, think about what I was looking for, think about what I needed in my love relationships, and help me to really kind of like think about doing things differently than prior to. I think David got the same kind of reaction from the book. I mean, I all day, I'm really just not going to sit around and talk about self-love, because people fake it, like for real. We sitting around faking, I love myself. But do we love ourselves? I don't know. We faking it.
Yeah, I think the title was misleading to me when I actually opened the book and start reading the material, and you sectioned it off from, and I know you're going to get into the me concept, the we concept, the recycle ship. Those things right there really drew me into it, because as a man, a lot of times we compartmentalize various things in our lives. So when you broke it down into those components, it sort of got me more interested, and I wanted you to elaborate on the whole concepts of those areas I just discussed, the we, the me.
Well, when I sat down and took upon a book, the only reason why we look at it as Is Love today is it was really it was an acronym. The concept was the introduction to self-love. So the I represents the introduction and the S represents self. And I just put it together. But I was really, like we all say, we love each other. But when we say we love each other, most of how we see love and how we go about love is from, if I could say, an inherited way. And more so when you're in a situation when you go, I love this person, you see it from a standpoint of what you see in your household, what you grow up with. Case in point, I grew up with 3 uncles who probably had 6 girlfriends. So when I got married my first time, I'm on my second marriage. When I got married my first time, I didn't understand the concept of what a man was supposed to do, because I seen totally what my uncles was outside doing. And seeing them intel and go into different situations with different women, I didn't know how to solve a problem when it came to a relationship. I didn't know how to talk to a woman and say, you know what, I hear what you're saying. I just thought it was a man's way or the highway. So I had to go through that experience. I had to see that. I had to take all of that in, and then I had to say, you know what, maybe I do need to understand. And the problem, too, of going into, before I went into the whole concept of understanding what I need to do, my first wife she grew up in a household of a mother and a father. So she seen what a man should be doing, but that wasn't what I was doing. So was it wrong? No, I just didn't know.
Did you show her any of that before you married her?
Not at all. Did I show her any of the...
In other words, you said that you married a woman who grew up in a household where essentially she knew better, but she married you anyway and you didn't know better. Did you show her your true self before you got married?
Now, could you, what's
This
my
man
true
who
self?
thought that it was my way or the highway, that it was that you do what the man says, whatever, all those things you told me that you learned from your uncles. Did you show her that during your courtship and dating phase?
I showed her what I knew. And if what I knew was that, and that what she was attracted to, that was great.
No, so my question just is that who she married, or did she marry an ideology based on who she is and what she grew up with, or were you showing your representative all during that phase, and once you said I do, you started showing how you don't?
Well, no, my representative, which I think most people representative only lasts for about 30 to 90 days. But the process of my representative was, again, I didn't know who I was showing. I was just me. But sometimes women go into conversations and they go into in further detail with another man thinking he might change. And maybe I was with a woman at the time who probably thought I would change and be a better situation than what she was seeing. So I was the same way, I think, my concept and my understanding before I got married as the same person I was while I was married to her. So even if I was ignoring some of the signs, I just didn't know.
What I wanted to do, and I'm glad you're talking, Damon, is if for a moment, if I could just reference Pastor Heath, the concept of how we as men approach love, how women approach love. If you can give us a little, your understanding and your spin on our direction, as he was talking about. His wife had both parents there. He saw his uncles and their relationships with women. What is the connection or lack of connection that we as men have when we approach the concept of love?
And we as men, because by nature we are designed to be the head, we are designed to kind of have that mentality, as he said. If we're not taught to lead into love with the we mentality, as I always say every time I counsel couples, when you get married, you no longer can think I, me, mine. Every thought has to be us, we, our. And so we have to lead with those that are following us in mind. And I think one of the struggles with this entire topic is there's really no scientific way to quantify what love is. Love is really something different to everybody in this room. It's expressed different. And so to me, what I took away, and I didn't have the chance to really read and digest the book, but I perused it beforehand, and I think it's an excellent subject, is really we have to understand ourselves to know what we want, know what our level of acceptance of others is, what our demand or what our expectation is. I think a lot of the problem is we may love ourselves and know what we want, but we never express those. And this is your point, Danyl. We never express our expectations ahead of time. This is what I expect. This is what I think I deserve. This is what I think I should have. And I think if there's a lot more within the self-love, I love myself enough that when my wife and I got married, we laid out expectations. These are the non-negotiables.
And we're going to come back to that. We're going to talk about the expectations. We're going to go to a break right now. Thank you to everyone who helps us put the show together. I'm talking about Howard Gilliam Jr. of New Video Productions. Yes, he is the man keeping us on tight and in frame and making sure we stay on time. And of course, AlvinaStyles.com. She does of course the nice jewelry, and now she has a little bit of the boom. Yeah, she's got that.
In a provocative boutique.
Yeah, so AlvinaStyles.com. So we're gonna go to a break, and we're gonna take it to our very own DJ Smooth.
Good afternoon. My name is Michele Bailey. I'm founder and CEO of Alvina Styles, and we are so excited about the upcoming holiday. We have beautiful bags, jewelry, all kinds of gifts, lingerie. But today, we're doing something special. We have wonderful giveaways. We have fabulous bags, and we have hats that we're giving away just for you. Check us out online. Our website is AlvinaStyles.com. There you'll see our specials, our events, and all kinds of good stuff, as well as how you can start your own pop-up boutique. Remember, don't forget AlvinaStyles.com.
We can't Right, you are watching Single on a Saturday Night, Season 4 right here at TGI Fridays, 4000 City Ave. And you know they already call it Club Friday, so yes, it's definitely Club Fridays, a day party right here for singles, whether you're married, couples, whoever you are, just come on out. It's Single on a Saturday Night. When we went to a break, Pastor Michael Heath of Living Water Ministries was speaking about expectations. I think that's a good thing to start with. I think sometimes people expect too darn much. I mean, I really do. I think we put too much expectation.
I think that people don't expect enough. We don't make demands. We just think that things are going to be lived up to and everything's going to work out. I don't think that we expect too much. I think that we expect and accept too little.
Really? So you thought, and then Niki Phelps, human sexuality specialist. You can go next.
As I was saying before we went to break, I totally agree. And again, it's not even that I think we expect too much. We don't verbalize our expectations. We don't sit down and say, because again, the definition of love is different to different people. For you, love may be spending time. For somebody else, love may be things. So if you don't express it as an expectation and you marry somebody who buys you things, he can't understand why you're upset when he's saying, okay, I bought you a house, I bought you a car. What is the problem? And for you, well, love is not things, love is spending time. So again, when we verbalize those expectations, that's where I think we miss, because we really don't verbalize them.
But I also think that society has trained us to not verbalize these things. You know, we talk all the time about how you don't want to be vulnerable, you don't want to discuss your feelings. These are the ultimate feelings. These are our non-negotiables, and these are the things that are very heartfelt for us. And I know as women, and I hear this all the time, is that, oh, you're demanding too much, and why do you think you are entitled to all of this, and you didn't earn the other thing, and you know, and I'm not just talking about just to me. I've seen dudes do it to my friends. I've seen it, you know, when I talk to.
Well, they call it complaining. You're complaining too much when you're. Yeah. That's it.
So what happens as the single friend dealing with my married friends and the ones who've been in relationships? It's like, okay, so step one, don't never mention that. Just internalize that and sit back and be mad about it and then break up with him too.
But you know what I can say, which was great, was your book. It enabled me to have a conversation with my mate and sit down and like, listen, you know what, this book, let's open this book and let's do this relationship.
The contract.
The goals and the goals. I
resume.
said, let's do this. I did finish it because they didn't. Like I said, it was an open door because I felt myself complaining a lot. You know, like, why you ain't do this? Why you ain't do that? And I'm not a complainer. I hate. I don't even like when people complain. So when I found myself complaining, I realized after I read the book, I did. It was very insightful. It allowed me to look inside myself to see that I'm not really verbalizing what I'm expecting him to do. So let's get this whole contract thing down pack here. Let's get this together. And you gonna tell me what you expect, and I'm gonna tell you what I expect, because our love languages are definitely different. Because I was talking to Danyl, how she grew up, how I grew up. I didn't grow up with a father. I grew up with a mother who was the bomb. But anyway, I grew up with a mom who was just like the bomb, everything. She grew up with a mother and father. And our perspectives are different. My grandmama and grandfather were married for a lot of years, but all I saw was her serving, you know, like she was cooking and crap. And to me, that was not cool to me.
Yeah, you know, and
to me, I just didn't want to do that.
I'll never forget this. I'll give you an example. I remember, and I grew up in my parents were together 47 years when my father passed, but they were still very non-traditional for that generation. My mother kept her last name. She never changed it. She worked. She built a business. In the end, my father was the one who retired and then went to go work for her. And I recall, like, I might have been like 17 or 18, and our mom, we were like at Target, and our mom decides that she wants to go get a GMC Danyl. So we leave Target, and we go across the street, and we go get this Danyl, and we come back. And one of my male friend, like just guys that I know from the neighborhood, well, how your mother just gonna get up and go get a car? Well, she can't just do that. Well, she can't. What's your father doing? And I said, my father said it was nice when she got home. And he was just like, well, you can't do that because, and I said, there's a difference. That's what you grew up with in your household. And I told him, and it wasn't until 10 years later we had a conversation about it. And I told him, the reason that your parents sat down and those were decisions on what we're gonna do is because they didn't have any money. So the vehicle purchase was a big deal for them to decide what it was together because they had to satisfy both their needs.
We're going to go to a break, but we're actually going to go to Single in the City. That's why we have Davina and Tasha out there talking to the people. So you never know when the camera's going to come to you on the street. You could be in the club, but Single in the City right now. Let's get to Davina and Tasha. Let's go.
Hi, this is Tasha from Single on the Saturday Night, and this is Davina.
And we're here to ask questions for our radio and talk TV show. Okay, here we go. There's one thing that my best friend or mate does all the time that really gets under my skin.
Be insecure. I'm not insecure about my relationship or my friendship with anybody, so I don't expect you to be either.
They do things that makes me really upset, and then when I do it, they feel as though I shouldn't be that upset. If it doesn't bother them, it shouldn't bother me when they do things that makes me really upset. Like if they talk to their ex-girlfriend, if they feel as though like they don't really care about that girl, then I shouldn't really care about that girl, but I really care that you talking to your ex-girlfriend.
You slid that in, I like that. I don't like when they feel like I have to accept something that they wouldn't accept from me. Prime example, why do you get to stay out all night and accidentally fall asleep at somebody's house and I can't? Hello. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. This is Single on a Saturday Night.
Hi, I'm Fiona with Single on a Saturday Night, and today I'm here with Glenn Hamilton of Carrot Bars International. He's going to tell us some ways to save some money. As a single mother, I'm always interested in a safe way to save money, but make a little more interest than you can with the banks. So here's Glenn to tell us some more.
Great. Well, thanks, Fiona. Thanks for having me. Carrot Bars International is a company that's been around for 4.5 years, and the average person couldn't afford to buy gold in 1 ounce increments, but they certainly afford to buy 1 gram or 2.5 grams or 5 grams. So the company Carrot Bars makes gold available to us like that. So the average person should invest in gold and not just all paper money. So in the year I was born in 1973, gold cost $450 an ounce. Today it costs $1,100 an ounce. So as we see, gold is keeping its value, but the dollar is losing its value. So there's also an income opportunity attached to Carrot Bars, to where the company would allow you to earn a compensation by referring other people. So it's a powerful way not just to earn money, but also to save gold as well.
So I work for a bank, and over the holiday season we sell thousands and thousands of gift cards, and I love the way that this is packaged. So basically this is gold?
Sure. The card, it's a plastic card that's about the size of a credit card, and it has the 1 gram or 5 gram piece of gold, 24 karat investment gold encased in the card. It's a very unique way. You can easily give a person 1 gram of gold for Christmas, as opposed to a sweater that's going to get some lint balls on it after a while. So great idea. One of the endorsements we have from Carrot Bars is the Vatican, in that the Vatican has endorsed this card. You see a picture of Pope John Paul and the Vatican seal on it. There's not too many companies out there with the Vatican seal of approval.
Wow, that's fabulous, Glenn. And how do we go ahead and do this?
Well, you can contact me and look at my website, ghamiltongold.com. That's ghamiltongold.com. And contact me by phone, 267-721-1972. I'll be happy to show you more about this business.
Thank you so much. I'm Fiona with Single on a Saturday Night.
I don't know, this DJ thing is distracting. Is it? I know, my booty like, ooh, shaking the seat, booty shake. That's it. Got me sitting here trying to look professional.
It's love, baby. Is it love?
Is love. Hey, we're back. It's Single on a Saturday Night right here. TGI Fridays, 4000 City Ave. Did you enjoy that segment? Did you have some fun? So do you know whether it's the truth or a lie? Sometimes you don't know whether people are telling the truth or a lie, but Davina and Tasha, they uncovered the truth or a lie. We'll find out right now. Anyway, we're back. We're talking about Is Love. It's the book by Damon F. Humans. I don't want to get it right. Is it in stores right now? Just. Yes, it is. Okay, it is in stores right now. But we have Davina in the audience. She has a question for Mr. Damon. Mr. Damon. I'm just saying.
Hi, Damon. I think Is Love is a great topic, and I would like to, purchase your book hopefully after the show. But I would like to ask a question. A lot of men and women don't really know how to love themselves, and I minister and consult with young men and women all the time. So I would like to ask you, what can I take to them when you're dealing with men that may have went through a divorce, lost everything, and now they're trying to build themselves back up, or they're lost their job and they're just kind of lost and they're not loving themselves to go out and do what they have to do. Or women who let people run all over them all the time or use them and take advantage, whether it's family, whether it's their husbands, whether it's children. I encounter with men and women who really don't love themselves or put themselves first in life, and they end up wasting a lot of years and hurt and pain because they're not loving themselves. So what do you have that I can take to them?
Thank you very much. That's a great question that I know myself, the pastor and the counselor would be able to answer as well. I counsel as well, and I see in the program that I am counsel of, I am to see over 500 men for a year. So I see 500 men in a year, and I deal with men a lot in understanding some of the concerns and some of the issues they have. This is one of the concepts that I talk about specifically in the book, which I title Me-Lationship, which is strictly and specifically about the self. And some of the things that you got to do is you got to break down all the components that I don't know what happened in some of the people's lives that you deal with, but I try to break down all the methods first. You know, you gotta almost separate yourself from everything that you do, and you got to start rebuilding yourself depending on what the situation is. Specifically, you got to start rebuilding yourself little at a time. That's the hardest thing to do, because like the young lady said, most people don't know how to love themselves, don't know how to build themselves up, and they look for others to do it. And that's the area where it can get really dangerous at. So what I do is we do, like I said, we do assessments, and we try to understand where you at right now. And then we try to implement some positive things, some things that they like, some things that they do a lot. And we try to go off of there. So every case is different. But it's a few things I can go over, and the book also explains a few things.
We're going to come back next week with more, but I just want to know from anybody up here, have you ever had a moment or time in your life that you didn't love yourself? And if you didn't, how did you get over it? Fiona?
I'm divorced now. I was married for about 9 years, and it was over for a very long time, and I think definitely towards felt that I made a mistake, definitely wasn't confident, or I felt that I'd made mistakes which had hurt other people, and definitely didn't love myself.
You didn't love yourself, so it kind of hurt your confidence.
Yeah, definitely. And
how did you find that love again, your love for yourself? How did you get to the point where I love myself?
Taking time for yourself and realizing that you're in a relationship. There's two people, and it's not always your fault. So you just have to take your blame, give them their blame, and move on. And don't make them negative. Or I think one thing that's very difficult is when you're in a new relationship, you're always looking for those red flags. You're always judging the next person by who went before them, and just little red flag. Okay, well, he used to drink, or he used to do that. So you're always like waiting for them to trip as well. I think it's hard to get over that. Definitely.
So has anybody else not loved themselves at one moment in time?
Go ahead. I didn't love myself when I proposed to a woman and really didn't want to be married. I looked at it.
She didn't want to be married.
I didn't want to be married, but I looked at a lot of things, like I owed it to her for being with me for a period of time, that it's the right thing to do, all the things that was not my own description of what I needed to in order to marry somebody. That put me in a position to hurt someone, and when the reality hit me that this is really not what I wanted to do, having to face that person and let them know I'm really not there with you was that moment for me.
What about you, Chris? I think we only have like maybe 30 seconds.
There was definitely a time in my life where I was a bull in the china shop because I didn't love myself. And the thing about building anything is you have to identify what your foundation is first. And if your foundation is something that is not solid, you can't build anything on top of it. And me loving myself was identifying what was wrong with my foundation, and my faith allowed me to get that reset, and now I can start building again.
So I think the bottom line is we might have maybe not all have been through not loving themselves, but we'll come back next week and really talk about whether we've all been through that. But not always do you identify with not loving yourself. You don't always get there on your own, and sometimes you may not ever get there on your own. But I don't think it takes you loving yourself to find that person that loves you. We're gonna kick it all over to DJ Smooth.
One of those. This season 4.
Hey, one more. It's season 4. We want more.